All right, guys. Enough of that. Penny's here. We got those guys over there, John and Kristina. How's it going?
Doing great. How you doing?
Doing very, very good today, guys. So you got some exciting stuff going on. Let's get right into that, and we can talk about the other stuff later.
All right. Well, our big thing is that a week from today, we start, we're going to do an attempt at the record of number of casinos visited in 24 hours.
That's crazy.
We have 93 on the list. We hope to visit all of them, but, we'll wing it. We'll decide what we do as we get through it, but we figure we'll be out about 20 hours or 21 hours doing it.
Wow, that's crazy. So talk about where you're going to. Now, you said this is a anniversary thing. Do you do this every year or?
No, but we just have a tendency to do random stuff on occasion. Our first anniversary was actually spent in Las Vegas. So we were back east at the time. Our first anniversary, we came out here to Vegas, kind of first time, seeing the city, getting a piece of, the casino action, the entertainment and all that. And for our 10-year anniversary, we decided to be crazy and we jumped off the Strat together. Did the side jump, just because you figure when you've been with somebody 10 years, I mean, come on, what gets crazier than that? So let's jump the building together. We attempted to do that again for our 20th, but this guy here got COVID and that wasn't going to work. And I don't know, randomly, 6 months ago, we were kind of talking about records that maybe we could hit that were related to casinos. And then we kind of joked that our anniversary is going to be old enough to gamble because it's turning 21. And so we kind of just decided to do a random casino record for our 21st. Mm-hmm. So, more just because we're random crazy people.
Nice, guys. Just looking at the chat here, we got TC, Lisa J, we got Gary in the house. Gary says happy anniversary, John and Kristina. And we got Cinnamon Girl, Lisa J, Terry Myers. So hello to everyone. So you said there's 93 casinos with slot machines in them, right?
Well, there are a few more than that, but one of our problems is that, so we're doing what's called a non-restricted license. That means the taverns and the grocery stores don't count.
Okay.
There are probably about 100 of these non-restricted licenses. A couple of them are way far out. One's down by Hoover Dam, one's up by the Speedway, and a few of them only do hand pays. And we want to get tickets. And so we're going to skip a few of them that don't print out tickets because part of they're going to be souvenirs. We're going to put $1 and in some of the places maybe $5, and we'll end up with tickets that are change or a couple of bucks or something. And so if it's a hand pay, then we can't get a souvenir out of it. So we're just going to skip it.
Okay, question here from Great Dane Mummy. She wants to know, what is their YouTube channel? Do you know the name of your YouTube?
Not off the top of my head.
We're just getting started with that. It's like at Vegas Advantage though, or with an underscore. We'll get it right. I'm not sending me speculating here.
Yeah, it's at Vegas_Advantage is our username, so you can find us through that.
So that's the same as the Twitter account then.
Yeah. Now, most of your information, you have a website, right? Vegas Advantage. Also, you're found on Twitter. That's where people can see John posting the most, right?
Yes, she's a little silent on Twitter, but I'm John _Mehaffey, and then Vegas Advantage is Vegas_Advantage, and those are the two places. I talk a lot about my observations on my personal account. The Vegas Advantage one is more like here's the blog post we just did, or here's an archive piece that is relevant right now in the discussion type of thing.
Okay, so I seen some the other day from Skylar Jameson talking to you about Stage Door. Did you add Stage Door to the list, or is that one of the?
It is on the list because I believe it is a ticket. Do you know that for sure? Is it a hand pay or ticket? Do you remember?
I don't know.
That's
okay.
Yeah, usually when I go in there, I'm just sitting there having a beer. But
because they do have about 35 slot machines. A non-restricted has more than 15 slot machines. That's essentially, it doesn't have table games. In fact, the record is for the Guinness World Record is table games, and they have 74. The problem is there's only 71 casinos in Las Vegas with tables now because COVID closed the Texas Station, the Fiestas, and then about 10 other places never brought tables back. And so even going to Prim wouldn't fix that. Laughlin might not fix that. Also, we don't think Encore and Link count as two separate casinos, and O'Shea's and Link don't either. So there's probably only 69 casinos and table games here. So we're just doing slots unofficially.
Okay, and just talk about where will you start this adventure? Where are you kicking this off?
So we're kicking this off in front of Plaza. Well, we're starting at Plaza our very first. We're doing a little something at 4:30 ahead of time outside, and then we're gonna push our first buttons or whatnot at 5 o'clock inside the Plaza. Our goal is to walk the majority of the downtown. Ticket pay. Walk the majority of downtown to El Cortez. Then we're catching a ride around North Las Vegas, Summerlin areas, and then we're going to walk the strip pretty much in the middle of the night. So while everybody is sleeping, we'll be walking the strip.
Nice.
Hopefully the weather will be nice, and obviously the sidewalks won't be too crowded. So that'll be our ideal time to do that. And then we're riding south of town. Circa has offered to help us with transportation. So they're going to be picking us up around Mandalay Bay area in the south side of town, and then help us ride around the south side, kind of southeast, Boulder Highway. By our estimates, we should be breaking the record at the Wildfire on Lake Mead. That'll be Casino 75. So that'll be where we kind of play a little bit longer to celebrate the making one more. And then so after that, every casino we hit becomes a new record.
Nice.
The goal being Circa will be our end. Since they're providing us with transportation, we're going to make them the finish line.
Very nice.
We'll have walked the other 11 casinos downtown. We literally just have to roll into Circa enough to stumble to a machine to hit our buttons for that last casino to count. So we've given ourselves some extra time. So we have an extra 2 hours or so to work with for, unknown traffic stop, issues and other things along the way. So, hopefully our energy lasts for the full 24 hours and we make it all 93.
That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Okay, Gary says stage door is a ticket pay, redeem at the cashier or bartender. I remember they have a little cashier booth there. Skylar Jameson's here. He says, good luck at stage door machines. Give tickets. That's good. Travel fanboy. Be careful around Fontainebleau. There's glass everywhere, apparently. John, do you want to just take that topic? Tell us the story. What happened on Twitter and everything with
the wind blows from the Westgate side, it'll just blow out onto the strip onto us. So we really got to be careful about this guy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go too much into this, but there's somebody out there published a rumor that said that windows were falling out of Fontainebleau and that the pool deck was in danger and whatever. And they didn't do any research about that. And so I got a little unhappy because here's somebody who spent a bunch of money investing to create jobs to finish that construction project. And surely there are construction accidents there. I mean, nobody's going to deny that.
Right.
Like this was a construction accident and not like a danger to people. There's no way they're going to open the place and wonder if those windows are going to fall out when the wind blows. And so there are still windows missing on the building, but that's how they get materials in and out and get trash out and get the cranes, put stuff up there. And so I don't think missing windows on that building mean anything 2.5 months before it opens.
All right, Gary weighing in here. Let's see what Gary's comment is. The window blowout may be a ventilation strategy.
Right, that too, especially in the hot weather here, because there's no HVAC system, I'm going to imagine, working in there yet.
Crazy. Let me check my phone. I had a question here also from Gary. And he said, if you have time during the interview, ask how Circa became involved in their adventure.
Okay. So Christina wrote a blog post. It was titled
Our marriage is almost old enough to gamble, right. I believe.
And so it caught somebody's attention there, and they had an internal discussion about, Circa's 21 and up, and they had talked about it inside the company, And so a public relations person there named Stephanie reached out to us and said, we see you looking for help. We'd like to offer help with you or for you. And then we talked to her several times.
Yeah, so transportation is obviously the biggest thing we need help with because, we can walk the strip, we can walk downtown, but it's hard to walk to all of the other places.
Sure.
And so, yeah, they graciously offered to help us with a big chunk of that transportation. So, yeah, they're driving us around for about 2/3 of the driving time needed or whatnot.
Nice.
About 8 hours in their SUV.
Wow.
But it helped that Circa has an appreciation for, the way numbers work out the way I do. If anybody does follow me, I'm a spreadsheet junkie. I love numbers. If I can put it in a spreadsheet, I'm happy. It makes me happy to organize numbers and do stuff with it. And they they like to play on, it's our 21st anniversary. They're 21 and up. And so that was kind of their fun little, get to play with our numbers with us and then offer us some help along the way also.
Fantastic. That is so cool. Let's touch a little bit on your website, Vegas Advantage. Every year you guys go out and check out all the table games, right? Just talk about that a little bit. I know we've touched on it in the past, but when do you do this? Will it be like January, February, or what time of year do you do that?
Okay, so we have changed it up a little bit in the last year. Instead of going out and doing it all at once, it just became so much work. It would take us about a month to get it out there. Sometimes information would already change. We know it. Now we have a membership service where we update it every month. We go to 4 to 8 strip properties and about that many off strip. And then we do downtown every 3 or 4 months or something. And that helps keep it fresh, and it reduces our stress level, and it makes it so we're not spending all of our time on one thing for several weeks. It's worked out very well for us. It made it a lot less stressful. And I think it's also made it more updated, so that our members are able to find that information faster than if we only went out once or twice a year, because we're going to these places. The strip probably 3 times a year, downtown 3 times, and the locals twice or once if they're smaller.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we go, Kristina handles all the electronic table games, and I go in and do the live table games and the video poker machines. And then we I find the best video poker. She writes all about the minimums, the rules, like if the blackjack 6-5 or how many zeros on the roulette wheel and craps odds type things. Actually, the craps odds are kind of hard to find. The field paying double or triple on 12, I guess, is the big one there. But then she finds some interesting things, like there's video pie gow now at Golden Nugget the last time we looked. And so for people who want to play lower limit type games, she has a lot of great information for that, since the tables are not easy to find anymore under $10. But then I go try to find the best video poker for people who want to play that. And then the table games, we do the minimums and whether blackjack pays 3-2 or 6-5, craps odds, the minimum bets, pie gow, what type of game they play, number of zeros on roulette wheels. So it's quite detailed. About 65 casinos are in there right now. Does that seem right?
Something like that.
So there's only 71 with tables. And so we're probably the Railroad Pass we haven't been to yet. There's a few real far-flung ones that we haven't gotten to yet.
Okay, so hey, Ronnie C, just want to shout out Ronnie C joining the live stream. And so I seen a while ago you were down at Downtown Grant, and they've changed over from the William Hill Sportsbook to the Caesar Sportsbook. Can you give me an idea what the difference is between the two?
So in Nevada, there isn't one, as far as I know at this time, other than the branding. Because in Nevada, Caesar still uses William Hill's software. They acquired the company in 2020 or so. But in most parts of the country, they have closed the William Hill brand, and they're just Caesar Sportsbook with that huge national ad campaign they're doing. But in Nevada, the problem is William Hill has about 100 little satellite sportsbooks around the state. And I imagine a lot of these casino operators don't want to have Caesar's name on their independent casino.
Right.
And to the best of my knowledge, in Nevada, that's the first time I've seen a Caesars Sportsbook branding on something that wasn't a Caesars.
Oh,
and
wow.
I imagine we're going to see that at Rio here in a week or so, but only because of that unique situation. But otherwise, every Caesars Sportsbook that is not in a Caesars, in Las Vegas at least, says William Hill on it to avoid that branding conflict. But I guess Downtown Grand doesn't care about that. Caesars doesn't really compete with Downtown Grand, I would argue. So it's a totally
right,
world.
right. You mentioned Rio. There was email that went out that they were switching ownership, right? Or their operators are switching or something. Can you talk about that?
Right. And so about 2019, before the pandemic, I believe it changed hands or the announcement was made. It got under contract. And so this company's name is Dreamscape. And they have been running, to the best of my knowledge, all of the operations except for the casino operations. They've taken over the hotel. They're already remodeling it. They're turning the food court. I'm sorry, they're turning the buffet into a food court. And so they've been already doing some of the things not related to gaming. October 1st is the last day that Caesars Entertainment will operate the casino floor at Rio. It's 6 a.m. on October 2nd. Dreamscape been approved by gaming to take all the operations over. The Caesars Rewards will be gone. There'll be a Rio Rewards, I believe is what they're calling it. And it'll be an independent players club, though I imagine they'll have access to people who, I think they said since late 2017, I guess 6 years they're going to go back of that data. They'll get to market to former Rio customers and that were there under Caesars. But from reading some of the things that the company's put out, they're going to change. They're going to make the gaming better. They're going to look more like a locals casino. The Players Club is going to be more competitive than the Caesars one is. You know, the Caesars access is incredible because you can stay all over the country or Caesars.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a disadvantage only having one property. That's tough. But I believe that there are going to be many positive changes. And you already see them. They're repainting the outside. That paint's been peeling off the whole time we've lived here. You know? They're doing some remodeling inside. So I believe that this is nothing but a positive because they look across the street to Gold Coast and say, why can't we look like that every day? You see how busy Gold Coast is.
Right. Yeah.
And the answer is they can if they try. And they know that. And I believe that they're going to put a good effort in there to compete in the locals market and try to be a hybrid like Palms tries to be, you know, a Palace Station kind of thing, where South Point, where you get 50-50. I think that's the type of thing they're going to go after.
All right. And this company, do they run casinos, local casinos anywhere in the country or?
I don't believe so. I'm not 100% sure. I believe this is a real estate investment trust type of company.
Okay.
And that they have hired long-time Las Vegas casino executives to help run it. So there is experience on that board.
Oh, nice.
Right. So I believe that, and I've from seeing what they've said, it feels like they're going to be transparent about it, that they're going to, they're not going to be too secretive, so to speak. I think they're going to be out there in the discussion and wanting to improve and wanting to make their potential customers happy. So I see good things coming. I mean, it really can't get worse, right?
No, it definitely can't get worse. TC has a question here for you at the bottom of the screen. Which former craps field bet held no edge?
If they both pay triple, 2 and 12 pay triple. And there used to be about 10 years ago, was it Circus or somebody had a special like on Happy Hour, the field paid triple on 2 and 12 or something, but I haven't seen such a thing in a while. But yeah, the house edge almost doubles. If the field pays double on 12, it's double than if it paid triple.
Okay. You're speaking total French to me. I have no idea about anything about craps, but Richard Greenberg weighing in here. Hello, Richard. How are you? Rio does have the link with the Hyatt hotels.
That's right. So they do have, they're getting some hotel partners or getting a hotel partner there. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And so let's talk about this casino crawl or whatever. What are you calling it?
I don't know. All my folders just call it our 21st anniversary. And
okay.
Changes something else from there.
Okay, so talk about some of the casinos that you're going to hit on this that you've never been to. Is there many?
Well, more for me than for him, because there's some of the casinos that he's visited that I just haven't been out on those trips and stuff like that. So he jokes that, you know, he's going to take me to Skyline for the first time because I've never been there.
Oh, wow.
He's been there a few times.
The only ones on this route, I've never been in Stage Door. And there are a few of the Wildfires, which are Station Casino kind of overgrown tavern type. That's wrong.
Okay.
About 100, 200 machines, but no table rooms. And so there are a few of those that I've never been in that are related to that. If they have tables, I've been in them. And so that's, you know, a good number of those. You haven't been in Klondike Sunset either, I'm going to say.
Let's say multiple Boulders Highway ones.
I haven't been in Longhorn. Yeah, so there are a few more that she hasn't been into, but really it's just the stage door and a few of the wildfires for me.
Okay.
You have, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been in
Okay,
Alamo
all
with
right.
you.
Now there was a new casino that went downtown. That was a wildfire casino, wasn't it?
It's
Recently?
the wildfire on Fremont. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about halfway between Boulder Station and El Cortez. It's kind
Okay.
of an underserved casino area, I guess you might could say. And so that opened about 6 months ago, probably.
I don't know. I struggle with time.
Yeah.
All right, guys in chat, if you have a question for these two, this would be a great time to post it. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? I'm looking at the...
Otherwise, if you want to follow us on our trip, like I said, he'll be live tweeting through the Vegas Advantage Twitter account. I'm going to attempt some live YouTube videos through our YouTube channel. And then I also will be putting up a blog post either today or tomorrow that will have a friendly competition running in it also, where John and I are going to have a friendly competition to see who does better on our souvenir slot tickets, if you will. So since we're keeping them for souvenirs, we know everything is technically at a loss, but we still want to have fun kind of running the tallies on whose tickets are. So I've programmed a spreadsheet to hopefully feed into a blog post that will keep the numbers live running as we feed them in on our trip. So we'll see. This is the first time I get to be in front and behind the scenes at the same time. So normally I'm the one behind running the show. I'm not in the face. So doing both is going to be a different experience for me on this trip. So.
Yeah, she usually stays pretty quiet in the background. Yesterday we decided, or we put serious thought into, we're going to play Keno instead of slots, I think, and we're going to have our anniversary with the 21 and then the number of casino that we're on. And so we're going to play a 4-spot or
nice.
5-spot.
I like that. I like that.
It's because we walked around yesterday. It was like, well, I just don't want to push. Let's have some Keno, because you can usually play nickel or push too. Maybe on the strip it'll be a quarter or something. And so we'll probably do that, I believe. We'll have to get a little creative, like number 2 casinos, Main Street Station, or that's not good. So 5 is going to be a problem at Golden Gate, right?
Yeah.
So we'll maybe have to do 50 instead of 5, because 5 is one of our anniversary numbers, and on 10 we'll be at downtown Grand, have the same problem. So we'll figure stuff like that out. But that seemed like something, because all of them are going to have Keno. We'll just have to look a little bit for them. Maybe a few of the locals that really, it was Skyline, I think we thought didn't have Keno.
Yeah. So.
All right, some questions here. Gary wants to know, will you go to Jerry's Nugget, and will Lee be at Chica Benito's?
Well, we will be there at night this time. I think he asked me on Twitter if we saw them over there, but we were at Jerry's Nugget at 10 in the morning, and I think that's when they close up for a few hours.
Right.
Not that I know anything about them.
Yeah. Richard Greenberg wants to know, what's your favorite downtown Fremont casino?
Well, so mine is Plaza, because they have the full pay Joker machine, and because I've just been going there so many years, and I know so many of the people there. I've been going there since they owned Las Vegas Club across the street, and then some. And so we go way back with them, and so they always take care of us like we're, I'd say, VIP. When more it's a time than anything else. The other thing that I like a lot is View Bar at the D, and so that's the other thing that we do a lot there. With Plaza, we also have Sand Dollar, good video poker with non-smoking and stuff. And so those are probably 1 and 2. Do you have something that?
No, that's probably mine. Yeah,
okay.
well.
All right. Skylar Jameson is back in here, and he says, are you going to Barley's in Henderson?
Yes, that is on the list. It's about number 80 something.
Yeah.
Low 80s. We'll probably be there about noon on October 5th is probably a good estimate.
Okay, so when you're breaking this down, on average, how long will you be in each casino? Like, are we talking 5 or 10 minutes?
We gave ourselves 7.5 minutes just so that we would have the chance for the social media posts, as well as the fact that we haven't actually scheduled any bathroom breaks or dining breaks or those other things. So by overcompensating in the time, we figure then when we get ahead, that gives us that time bubble that we can use, to grab a better bite to eat or in those kind of things along the way. I'm kind of basing it on the same strategy I used when we visited the 58 casinos back in May of 2021. Obviously, it was a lot of driving then, and wider areas. But that's kind of my planning strategies, kind of been based on that same format back then. I feel like we gave ourselves like a half hour to spend in every casino, and we found ourselves not needing that much time in a lot of properties. So knowing that worked with overcompensating for time, that made it so we were on schedule or running ahead most of the time. I kind of built that into the frame or whatnot. I literally have a spreadsheet that takes us step by step through every stop of the way. I'm telling you, if I put it in a spreadsheet, I'm there. So between Google Maps and my spreadsheets, we've got an itinerary that we hope to stay at least close to. Like I said, we gave ourselves some buffer time for, things go wrong, traffic,
Sure.
If it wasn't for an organization, I'd just be like, let's go there next.
Right.
There's one over there, so it's gonna help out a bunch.
Nice. Want to say hello to Vegas mom Denise, and Gary has another question here. How/when will you eat your meals?
So the plan is, Plaza's given us a hotel room to use as a base, and we're going to check in there the morning of and get rested up before all this starts. I figure we'll probably eat a late breakfast at the Binion's Cafe, and from there, we've contracted a driver, and I believe that for the nighttime there. And at some point, I think we'll stop it for a moment and especially I think we're going to get pretty far ahead on that, because 7.5 minutes is a long time to stop at a little tiny North Las Vegas casino. So we ought to get decently ahead. We've talked about eating at the Orleans food court while we're there. If we get there in time before they close, the Fuddruckers is 24 hours there anyway. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the strip, we've talked about eating at Johnny Rockets at Excalibur or Luxor for breakfast about 5 or 6 in the morning. It's open 24 hours.
Yeah, so we're looking for, because otherwise a lot of things don't open until 7 a.m., but we'll be down there, we should be leaving the strip before that. So we're trying to kind of strategize places that might have 24-hour meals and stuff.
Sure.
As well as we plan on bringing lots of snacks, jerkies and cheeses and other stuff to kind of keep us fueled along the way. The meals, we kind of have more just tentative ideas and no real plans. It's just kind of how we roll.
I was real surprised to see how few 24-hour restaurants are still on the strip. It's almost none of them.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. And so when we're trying to plan this, I was like, well, there's a Krispy Kreme at Excalibur and there's a Johnny Rocket. It really is limited. Yeah. And so like Johnny Rockets closes a couple of nights a week. Mm-hmm. And so, there's not a whole lot of options.
Okay. We got Vegas Baby, Crystal weighing in. She said, just followed you guys on Vegas Advantage on Twitter. Sounds like you guys have a spectacular challenge ahead of you. Good luck. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal.
It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. We got Andrew in here. He's from Cardiff, South. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but I'm assuming the UK. Thank you, Andrew. We got Terry Myers in here. Sorry, I missed it. Eating lunch, working, and trying to watch this, but when is this all going to happen?
So October 4th at 5 o'clock is the first push of the button is the plan. If all goes to schedule, about 2:30 or so, we'll be pulling into Circa for the final grand finale or whatever on there.
In about 4:30, we'll probably end up down in the area where Carousel Bar is, it seems like, on October 4th to start it off. I think that Plaza and Circa are going to get together and send us off with their best wishes. And we're going to try to play the Joker poker inside that the Plaza has of my favorite little game there. But if it's occupied or that becomes inconvenient, we'll go find something else.
We'll go find some Keno.
There's a Keno machine right next to it, right?
Crystal wants to know, where will you be posting most of the updates? You guys kind of touched on that, but there'll be some YouTube lives, hopefully, and John will be all over Twitter, right?
Yeah.
The Vegas Advantage Twitter account is going to be, since that's how the Facebook and YouTube accounts are, we decided to keep it uniform instead of me posting out of the personal.
Okay, so it'll be on Vegas Advantage. Good to know.
Yeah. and then, like I said, the YouTube channel, and then there'll be a blog post page. I don't have it up yet. Hopefully before the day is over, it'll be a page kind of with some more information on there also. That'll have a live, semi-live feed kind of ability on there too. So
Very cool. Very cool,
new
guys. Definitely a very unique challenge. Now, you said there was a gentleman or somebody did the 72 table games in 24 hours?
So they did 74. They did it in October of 2017.
Okay.
They used all city buses and walked. I really respect the hustle.
Wow.
They did. And so they didn't have any drivers. I read the article that they walked 30 something miles. We think we might walk like 20 at most. But they, I respect that. We're never going to take anything away from what they did, because they did something totally. They also had to sit around and wait for pit supervisors to sign off to prove they played the Guinness, and it was a real hassle at red light.
Wow.
We're not that serious about this. We're just here to have fun.
Well, I think you're pretty serious when you're hitting up 90 casinos. That's crazy. Now,
I figured the 93 souvenirs should be enough to prove that I did it. So
exactly.
Pictures of me along the way.
Holding the selfie with the slot ticket. Yeah, it's got to be me.
Very good, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. Do you want to add anything before we wrap this up?
Well, we're excited, and we're looking forward to next week. We're out getting a bunch of miles in, walking every day, and hopefully we're up for the challenge. I think we will. And definitely follow us, and keep checking out Vegas Advantage. We'll have updates there and on our social media.
Awesome stuff, guys. Wow, this has been fun. I can't believe you're doing this. This is amazing, and everyone needs to follow along. Very cool stuff. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching the live stream. We're going to wrap it up here. And until next time, later, guys.